Yeah, time to get it right, y'all. Yeah, time to get it right, y'all. Hey yo, let the poppers pop and the breakers break. B-boys, get your hands up. B-girls, get your hands up. You know what I'm saying? Bounce to this, say yo, let the poppers pop and the breakers break. B-boys, get your hands up. B-girls, get your hands up. You know what I'm saying? Bounce to this, say yo, let the poppers pop and the breakers break. B-boys, get your hands up. B-girls, get them up, y'all. Get them up, y'all. Hey yo.
Peace, Pop Master Fable Babong, and we're here at the Revolution of Hip Hop exhibit, which is a pop-up for the Universal Museum of Hip Hop. I curated a photo from 1980 that Henry Chalfant took of me down in Soho when he had his first exhibit. So I was 15 years old here, and I'm wearing the first Lee bell-bottom denim pants that I painted. In fact, this photo was featured in Henry and Martha Cooper's book called Subway Art. It's in a double-page spread with a bunch of photos, and a pretty iconic photo at the time when the book was released, and even till this day. Also, I'm wearing a terry cloth shirt, Adidas, Clydes with the suede in the front, a trucker hat with the crown dented inward. That's how we used to rock it. And standing in a b-boy stance, me, Mr. Wiggles and myself, we started a crew called the Electric Company Dancers. So, we were popping, and before that, we had tagging crew, TCV, the Crazy Vandals, or TC5, the Cool Five. We were repping more when it came to crews, more with so-called graffiti crews or bombing crews. People's reputations preceded them. So in other words, if we notice someone who has flavor, style, they tagged a lot, they were up, what we call being up a lot, they had nice piecing style, hand style. Like, for instance, this up here, Playboy, swag in it, there's rhythm, the P, the B, Playboy 167, that has a nice, aesthetically, it's rhythmic. Other tags that typically are appreciated are tags that have drips. Like this case 2 here is very drippy. Drips are kind of a sign of power, a symbol of like, wow, I have so much ink, I could spare it. I did this Fable tag, flooded. When you flood your marker, you shake it, so when you tag, you get all these drips. Originally, we made our own markers quite often, what we call mops. We would steal the eraser from school. We would steal deodorant, from Woolworth, when it was, when they existed or wherever. And we would gut the dispenser. We would steal supermarket ink, back in the days when they used to stamp the cans with this rich indigo colored like ink. If it got on your hands, you're done because you can't take it off for like a month or two. And we would wrap electrical tape around the dispenser because sometimes the ink would eat through the plastic. And you fill it with the ink. You put cotton balls in there. Put cotton balls first. Fill it with the ink. Measure the eraser, the felt. Cut it. Put it in there. And there you go. You have a mop, what we called a mop. And so we would flood the mop and tag, and that's how you got like all those drips. The outside of the train, you had to move quickly because you're up against all these various elements. The police raiding you. MTA workers, chasing you. The weather conditions, sometimes we were out there in the rain. Sometimes it was, 30 below or colder. So you really wanted to knock it out as quickly as possible. I would say anywhere from something simple like that, that's more of a throw up. A throw up like that you can do in literally like 15 seconds, But a piece, for instance, on the other side of this mock train, there's a panel that I painted. Typically, and it says revolution, typically you don't want to be out there more than a couple of hours. Yeah. And it all depends on the intricacy, how detailed the art is going to be. Some people would do like blockbuster letters. In other words, no like fancy arrows and what have you. Just big block letters. That was the easiest way to go. But if you're going to do what we know as a wild style burner, whole car wild style burner is a lot more detailed. Typically, it would be accompanied with a character. That's very traditional, with subway art. That can easily be, 2 to 3 hour deal. Some people would go all alone and just knock it out. Most people would bring a few guys because sometimes there were other riders there and there were beefs. There were like beefs between crews. Some dudes would try to steal your paint while you're there or just rob you for anything you had. Also, if you're smart, you would have at least 1 or 2 lookouts. So while you're doing your piece, you have one guy at one end of the station or the area where you're piecing and another guy at the other end, just to make sure that, the cops or another crew isn't coming by, etc. And, we were known to have weapons on us, just in case anything got weird, you had to hold it down. Well, there were turf wars as well, you know what I mean? So you had to be very careful where you were going to tag or where you were going to piece. Like, for instance, the one tunnel, the famous one tunnel, it was like 145th to 135th. That was like ball buster territory, the ball busters, which was like a gang, and they had graffiti writers, like Flight, and very other guys, from that area. So, people were known to get robbed there on the regular. You had to know someone. If you went to the one tunnel, you had to know someone, either from the ball busters or someone who was respected by the ball busters, like Tack and Airborne that I went to high school with. If you went to Esplanade, to the layups, that's now MPC turf, Morris Park Crew, Cap and those guys. You had to be careful there. You definitely had to be careful wherever you went. Because, again, at any given point, any crew, any stick-up kid can come by, riders who also, were stealing and robbing, people. Anything could happen back then.
Yeah, time to get it right, y'all. Yeah, time to get it right, y'all. Hey, yo, let the poppers pop and the breakers break. B-boys, get your hands up. B-girls, get your hands up. You know what I'm saying? Bounce to this. Say, yo, let the poppers pop and the breakers break. B-boys, get your hands up. B-girls, get your hands up. You know what I'm saying? Bounce to this. Say, yo, let the poppers pop and the breakers break. B-boys, get your hands up. B-girls, get them up, y'all. Get them up, y'all. Hey, yo, hey, yo.